first giant drop. That's what has to happen. They need to go down and then rocket up really, really quick. That's what's going to happen. We have to
there are
reach
roller
the bottom.
like that, right?
I guess.
Or you just get like.
I feel like they're a bit more
wired
on.
like the tower ones where you sit in the seats on the side around it. You go
yeah, that's
down.
what I'm talking about. Yeah.
So that's all they gotta do.
Yeah, okay, I guess that's all they have to do.
Yeah.
So we'll see whether that does happen, as once again, we do have the same bans starting us off, and KT have elected to stay on the blue side for the third time in a row.
Well, this is actually back to the Game 1 bans, because Game 2 they went Panth Vi. Game 1
that's
they
true.
went Panth Galio. So we'll see what they go for the third ban. Maybe they look to prioritize like the Vi or something. The jungle pool's been thinned out a decent amount.
The Fury, still a problem if that does occur, but the Wukong will still be banned.
Yeah, it feels like GENG, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They are just kind of going the same route with their bans here. Consistently keeping this Azir away from BDD, and we haven't seen him play a mid laner with that consistent DPS, you know, which we was talking about after Game 1. You have a bursty picks both times, and I feel like something that can have that throughput in fights would be so valuable.
And guess what? They're not going to give it to him because they're going to ban Ryze again.
Yep.
Like, they've just been very consistent, unless they want to give over Ryze and have, like, the Cassio obviously ready. But no, I want to highlight the fact that Aurora was still open is kind of insane. Usually that pick has been swept up at this point already. Was open a few times, but not picked. Is going to get banned away as immediately the Vi comes through here. Everything on the line. Maybe it'll be like Vi Ahri for cousin BDD here.
Well, that wouldn't make me feel very good. I feel like Ahri has had her time and is not very good anymore. See what GENG do want to respond to this with. The Neferi has been the most successful into the Vi, but it looks like bottom lane is going to be considered quite early here as we move to game number 3.
Especially when you think of the supports that have been taken out of the equation. We've already seen Rakan, Rel, and the Nico go. So they pick up the Alistar, who feels so premier now in this position with all those picks gone, and then Maokai as well as duo. So really strong engaged picks that make the Vi so hard to play. The CC potential makes it really hard to engage.
It's actually remarkable though, because thus far, whenever we got to this position, GENG would have prioritized Skarner. So this actually is a pretty big divergence, I think, in their drafting habits. They've picked Skarner into Vi for basically the entire year. We know they play it. They're trying something out differently here. Maybe looking for Chovy.
Ooh, the Chone.
Question mark.
See whether he does want to lock that one in.
Especially if you're playing into the Ziggs, you need a close distance on him, right? And you have engage tools, but particularly the Alistar and the Maokai, if you body block well enough to stop them from reaching the Ziggs, the Yone, you can't really body block. If he ults and you're standing in the way, you just all get swept up together. So Chovy locking in the Yone is something that really can close that distance onto the Ziggs, which I imagine will go to Dokdam, pairing up with the Leona.
This is looking pretty dangerous once again for KT. Having locked away their bottom side though, it is still Perfect and BDD that can shake things up and try to respond to this Yone pickup. The Smolder going to be taken away. I imagine even a Tristana might be considered. BDD has played that already, had that consistent damage in, and has worked out in the Yone matchup in the past. Kai'Sa going to be taken away from Ruler as well.
I'm wondering whether you want to ban Sylas here. Not matchup-wise, but the ultimates that are available, like both Alistar and the Maokai, are just so insanely strong on Sylas, and GENG's going to have to pick what I assume will be a Ruler's pick here as well, so not having that much flexibility, but no, it's going to be the TF taken away instead, which TF, Vi, and Ziggs is a really unfun combo to play into, but at the same time, I feel like that with how reliant KT have clearly been on BDD to pump out damage, I think TF will kind of run into the same issues.
I think the Gwen ban makes a lot of sense though, especially if you have like the Yone diving in. I feel like Keen's Gwen is such a threat and can just cause so much chaos, be so hard to deal with. That consistent damage threat that can just shred through so many of these frontliners on the side of KT. Now for GENG, I think you just take 80 carry here and leave that top pick to last. Jhin makes a lot of sense in terms of the follow-up in this position. When everyone else goes in, you just pop that ultimate.
Self-sufficient as well, so Alistar gets to actually roam.
Also can play at such a distance. I feel like there's a lot of picks that have to operate within a range where Vi can just ult them. Jhin can stand miles away, and it gets to the point where Vi has to go so deep to ult him, it just isn't really worth it.
Yep, you can theoretically threaten the Jhin when he throws up the curtain call with Mega Inferno Bomb, but if you do that, then you don't get to use it in the ensuing fight, and I assume there's some crazy stuff going on at the same time as, yep, Viari, it was what we were thinking might happen, and I don't know whether any of us are all that enthused by it.
I think it's Jax or Yorick. Jax, Yorick is kind of really what's, I think, left here.
I think Yorick's too risky, as much as I think it would make sense in an ideal world. We've seen
I agree.
Perfect really struggle, especially, I remember when it was Road to MSI and he was against Doran's Renekton, he got absolutely blasted. I think if he went the Yorick and Keen went Renekton, he could have a really tough time. He just does go the Renekton himself. And I think when we see GENG diving in, you can obviously just be kind of that constant threat that ult does so much damage as well to a lot of melee champions on the side of GENG. And actually, it's GENG going for like a 2-carry composition with 4 melee if they lock in this Ornn.
That is, it's feeling like things are switching sides just a little bit as far as the comps are concerned. I don't want to take away from what GENG have put together, though. There is a lot of CC. So you could have a lot of KT members just not able to play the game, but like you were saying, possibly missing out on damage, and we'll see whether that does come back to bite them.
I do think GENG are definitely the best team that we have in the LCK, playing 2-carry comps because of how good their 2 carries in that scenario are. And to me, whenever it's a Ziggs comp, I know that this isn't really a poke comp, right? It's much more dive bolstered by Ziggs, but they have not 1, not 2, but effectively 3 long-range engage tools to just start off a fight at any point, and I think GENG are very dangerous when they have those tools.
I think my only concern, especially if they fall behind, is there's a lot of downtime between Yone when he has to rebind his soul, and Jhin when he's reloading, or when his ult is timed out and he has to close distance before he can auto. It's not a time where you're not doing that much damage, and there's going to be more constant damage output from the other side. So, you know, we've gone 2 games where I feel like there was very definite draft advantages for the side of GENG, and I feel like here KT may have given themselves the tools to maybe answer back in the series for the first time.
Man, that Yone was amazing.
And then the little kid drawing right next to it, that was amazing.
All artwork is beautiful. Just like that Agumon that we can see there as well. KT fans still trying to stay positive here, and I do think that this draft feels better than what we saw in the last couple of games. The tempo vibes, though, to mention them for the first time this series, well and truly in GENG's favor.
KT 하나 둘 셋. 젠지 하나 둘 셋.
That is the loudest the KT fans have been so far. And I don't know whether that bodes well or ill. Maybe it just bodes neutrally.
It just bodes.
It bodes.
It certainly bodes.
Yeah, I'm whelmed.
Not to be confused with boats.
Boat? What?
No, boats. Like
boats.
Yeah.
Yes, it's not a boat.
Well, I just thought it was important that we highlight that.
Owie.
Oh.
Well, he can at least go
Wait,
home.
no, he can recall, and he got the mana flow ban stack, so I think he's feeling pretty good.
Worth.
He gets back, and he gets the ping on the ward. Oh, Doctor is feeling good about
That is
this.
so much money right there. I also love the blatant Ziggs bias coming out from Dan. This is only a TriCast, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, in case of a Ziggs game, and we needed Chronicle here to balance it out.
They were actually considering just having me not on cast and then bring me in if Ziggs was picked, but they thought that might be a bit weird, so they just said, we'll just include you, you know, just in case. And it paid off, I think we can say.
You've nailed it. You've built a career around it. Even when Ziggs isn't in the game, you can still talk about Ziggs at some point.
He also has the correct skin. He has the pool party skin.
Yeah, it's maybe Doc Dom can bring the vibes back for KT, but probably not. As Canyon going to be taking down the Raptors first as he gets to his clear in his pajamas. Not a good look because, of course, he was asleep for a lot of the playoffs. Has since woken up, maybe ready to go back to bed, but hopefully not until after this weekend.
Want to highlight important that there was a ward on Raptors which spotted Canyon's late invade. So KT is fully aware of this, and it's just going to be some vertical jungling happening here, as last time we saw that happen, Chovy was actually able to, in the last game, to get a good trade back. This time BDD really putting the pressure on him.
And this matchup, Chovy on Yone into BDD on any champion, to be perfectly honest. Last time it was Syndra. This always makes me worried. One of the most one-sided games that we've ever seen by a single player was Chovy playing Yone into BDD Syndra.
It's still the best Yone game that I've ever seen. That was ridiculous.
He was extraordinarily strong in that game. We'll see whether VOD can have a better experience this time around.
Don't think Keen is diveable if he holds onto his W. So
I think it's too hard.
Yeah.
That much help.
he also still has his cookie. So, and I think Cuz making the right call. Just getting some vertical jungling here. Nothing too crazy.
I love it when Renekton's played and Morgan's name is on the screen. Absolutely beautiful. You'll love to see it. Renekton doing it a bit well here in the LCK more recently, and Perfect actually finding the most success on it out of everyone.
I like that they gave him scales, you know, they made his ult actually good in the late game, so he's now really is.
Yeah, now he has scales and scales.
Yeah, he just scales a little bit better. Than
He definitely,
off a cliff now.
definitely has skills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although he always had them. Strovi looking a little worse for wear, but obviously this matchup is about just trying to take what you can get and not falling too far behind. Putting that Doran's blade to, Doran's shield to work.
Yeah, kind of the reverse of last time, where it was BDD on the Akali, weathering the storm, and just holding up until later. Oh, seen no lane.
What's happening?
A little bit of fun.
The double satchel, as we've also got the junglers fighting. There's fighting all over the place. Is now Keen looking for a bit of an angle to flash away, and Keen also going to be flashing here as now you got a Zenith Blade in, and Canyon is looking to die, but the heal comes on forward. He goes back. The triple pulverize is good, but it's a punch to come through for first blood. Still, the counter punch is better as GENG take down 2.
The heal was so clutch to keep Canyon alive just a little bit longer, bait them in, and now
Oh god, Doctom's dead as well.
Has to
He
flash.
has to flash to get over the wall. So Duro, oh my, what is it with this guy in game 3?
So much ends up being expended there from KT, and GENG coming up ahead in terms of kills. It looked like it was a little bit doomed there for Canyon. He oversteps here, but you can see in the bot lane, both Ruler and Duro moving up here. And it's the heal coming out from Duro that keeps him alive just long enough. He goes in, gets some more healing, and they do take him down, but the damage is there.
I mean, Canyon doesn't care if he dies there, if they win the skirmish, which they do. And he gets, what, 2 flashes?
Well, what can he get now is the question, as there is a knock-up onto Keen. He gets out. Keen is the one that's now in a little bit of trouble. No flash available. Will get slowed down. And I don't think... Oh, never mind. Keen surviving for a while. Cuz will be taken down, though, as it's a 1-for-1 on the top side. And Feats of Warfare will be taken here by GENG at 5 minutes in the game.
And we heard a little bit of desperation, I think, the outcry of the fans. I think KT knows their back are against the wall. They are trying to make this game as messy as possible.
Well, they're succeeding. Peter doing the same thing here and doesn't quite land the Zenith Blade.
Oh, the sidestep.
Yeah.
Walks it off.
This has been a very scrappy game. This has been a lot of
said
fighting.
manic in game 1. I'm feeling like the level of mania has possibly extended.
In the stadium, I think
mania.
the KT fans are feeling a lot of mania right now, but particularly it feels like it's bled into Summoner's Rift. I mean, Perfect has priorities. He's been ahead in the matchup against Keen, but doesn't quite get...
He didn't have his W.
That's unfortunate. I assume used it early on a trade on a Keen, and then here just not quite able to get the damage on a Keen. The reset, the cooldown comes in for Cuz, but then doesn't have enough health to survive the 2 tower hits.
This ties back to that skirmish on the bot side. If Cuz has flash, that's just a kill for them.
Yep.
Because Canyon was able to get out with his phase rush, but wasn't really anything available still for Keen and GENG. An early gold lead with this composition.
And also gold in the right places, because when you have a 2-carry comp, you really need those 2 carries to be ahead. Both Chovy and Ruler 1-0-1 have gold leads on their opposition. That is exactly what you want, what you need. Because I think really we've seen games where...
The charm somehow going wide here as BDD taken down to 50% still. Duro looking worse for wear, as I've seen this movie before.
That is...
Ruler runs real fast with those Swifties.
It is also not the ideal position to be as
Oh dear. Well, Doctom is going to get towards... Oh my god, the last shot! Deadly Flourish is exactly that, but the sidestep there for Doctom.
Yeah, Doctom not having a fun time with the 1v1, and especially now that Ruler has the Boots of Swiftness, it becomes so much harder to hit your skill shots onto him. And Ziggs, he's all skill shots.
Didn't quite work out. Dragon has now been started here by GENG as well. The tree just getting to work on that one. That will be secured. Oh, Infernal to come up next. See what the soul is going to be in 5 minutes' time. I understand why KT want to up the pressure, but it's GENG that are finding so many of the advantages as Chovy unbinds the soul, is looking a little worse for wear, but he's able to get himself back out, and it's just BDD pushing the wave instead of doing much else. Duro just gets him out of there.
But GENG is really happy with this. I think if they are able to just scale into the mid to late stages of the game, like they're going to be exceptionally confident. They have a really good team fighting. As highlighted, the goal is exactly where they need it to be. So actually, I want to see KT keep going for these fights. Right? This composition has a lot of built-in power just with the ultimates, the single target lockdown, and the power of like Dominus, the Ziggs ult. So really just try and push as much as you can. So I'm happy to see them go for the grubs here.
I think as well, you can play into skirmishes because I feel like for GENG, you know, if you end up in a scenario where you're fighting top jungle, GENG's top jungle doesn't really do well in the 2v2. You know, if it's jungle support, again, Maokai, Alistar isn't that threatening. So I think often you can do better in the skirmishes than in the 5v5, where you have your two carries obviously there to provide the damage. So if KT can find those angles, especially with the amount of pick potential they do have available, that's where they can definitely find potential lead over GENG.
Mega Inferno Bomb comes in as Ruler just wanders past the turret. Duro's making his way and he's got level 6. Satchel is decent, but I don't think it's quite enough as Ruler taken down very low, but they still secure the kill onto the Ziggs. And now Peter might even be in trouble as well, as Duro is still very healthy and Peter has 0 damage.
That was risky, I feel like, from GENG, but Ruler ends up saving the flash there, and Dokkan doesn't even end up ulting on the end to try and catch him out, but obviously he could have just flashed away. There's a weird scenario where it ends up being Ruler the one who's tanking attack. Actually, I think he did use his flash, but it's just not updated on the scoreboard. It says
the kill isn't there yet either, so we're just taking our time momentarily.
Yeah, I was thinking he flashed, but now I looked over, you know, I trusted the...
Let's keep our eye on it. So
yeah.
Ruler hitting,
So they tried to reset aggro there, but then it still went the way of Ruler.
Yes, you did flash at the end, yeah, okay.
Because of the interrupt on Duro, he doesn't actually get aggro because the Satchel interrupted his dash. So as a result, it was actually Ruler that had aggro and was just tanking the turret the whole time. Uh-oh.
Very strange. As now BDD does have to use the Spirit Rush to get himself out of the way of the tree.
So I imagine that will hopefully start updating soon, as it is throwing me off a little bit.
It's okay. We are stuck in the past. This was a request from the KT fans. We just don't want it to get any worse.
That's so mean!
I think they would
don't want it to get any worse.
They want to be stuck further in the past, you know, maybe...
2018.
No, last week.
So,
yeah, last week.
Yeah, last week would be pretty good, as now Duro's going to get taken. Update the scoreboard! Oh, never mind. You don't have to. You don't have to. There's no updates. No updates. As, the curtains are now being called as Dokkan looking for an angle, cuz... Oh dear, the ulti from Chovy comes in. He was looking for Cuz first. Dokkan is a sitting duck, but he does have to rebind that soul as Ruler diving forward. He's got a dancing grenade. It's not quite enough. And I don't think Ruler's going to be diving yet again. Deadly Flourish going to be back up and available pretty soon. That's a scary one. Might be able to hit Dokkan with it. Won't kill him from here, but will be able to interrupt a back or two. Instead, it's just BDD making his way in. Not sure whether he teleported because he's still got an off cooldown.
On both sides, I feel. Duro... Okay, so I think Dokkan was waiting for his ult to get it up to try and kill Duro because he was so low here. And I think they kind of just assumed that someone would have it. And then he throws his ult very late and just misses it, unfortunately. No. And here, they decide to start blocking for Cuz. They sidestep Chovy's ult, and it's a nice satchel to disengage. And then it gets... It's a little bit yakety sax after that.
Yeah, it gets a bit weird. Nothing too much does happen, as we can see here. This is the result of all the things that did happen. BDD's teleport is appropriately on cooldown.
Duro was 13 HP.
Not even... He actually sidestepped, because Dokkan also threw one bouncing bomb through the turret.
Oh man.
Trying to get him, and he just was able to dodge.
And we now have the OG sort of
it's kind of cool. Bit of vibes here.
They are going back in time.
Yeah,
it's
happening.
There
we go. That's what we're trying to do. Unfortunately, they did update the scoreboard, though, so that does mean that GENG's looking a little further ahead.
Don't look too closely.
True.
Don't ruin the show.
That is always what it's about. If you want to be mystified, just try not to pay too much attention, and then everything's mystical. As okay, perfect slicing and dicing and all that sort of stuff as Dokkan standing on his satchel, keeping himself safe. As KT looking to get themselves ready for their first dragon of the game, up in 2 seconds' time. GENG not likely to give that one up without a fight, especially with the amount of tools that they have available, as double ultimates back off cooldown here for Ruler and Chovy at the same time.
Top laners both have TP as well. Sum's largely available. Dokdam and Ruler not quite there yet, but GENG, once they get control of the pit, I think it's hard to push into a Maokai Alistar combo.
And it's also so easy for them to gain control if they lose it, right? Canyon's on Maokai, the best at retaking control. As Captive Audience is going down, you can see the Drake going down low as well. Teleport does come in. There's the Nature's Grasp. As it is the Vi stealing away the Drake. That is something. And now Carl's looking for an angle onto Chovy as well. Dokdam keeping himself safe. It's a Cloud Soul, and that's pretty cool. But that's also a triple knock-up with the Pulverize. These GENG health bars are so low, but there's no one that can actually do damage apart from BDD, who flashes forward and immediately gets smashed back. And Chovy finds the knockups as well. The Ahri survives for a while, but eventually goes down, and Dokdam just doesn't have enough in the tank. The last man standing, they get the dragon, but not much more.
And it looks dire for a second, but Duro gives his life for the team fight, saves Chovy. Chovy doesn't even have Blade! How are they winning this fight?
I just feel like, you know, Peter commits so heavily to get the space for the initial smite, but then in the ensuing fight, Perfect doesn't get a huge amount of value, and they don't get any resets for the Ahri. There's this massive knockup that comes through, and they just don't really have the follow-through. It's just fish in a barrel at this point.
He just like straight up didn't care about the train at all.
I think he did. I just think he missed, okay? He did go for the headbutt. He just hit the wall.
But we could see that he didn't really, it just wasn't quite very close. That's fine. Perfect. Dices up those minions very, very satisfyingly. So that KT fans gonna be what they're holding on to as it's a 2.5k gold lead for GENG.
Atlas, I have to ask, you're the biggest Jhin hater.
Yes.
How are we feeling about Jin's current position in this game?
I would say this is a better position than some.
Than most? Even? Maybe?
You know what? I'm willing to go with most.
Hell yeah.
I also think that Ruler could have been playing Teemo, and he would also be in a great position in this game.
Okay, no,
in fact,
no
maybe
shot.
he should have.
No, not Teemo into Ziggs. Ox, give me a Ziggs check. Yeah, that would work, right?
How's the Teemo matchup?
Teemo's pretty bad in his Ziggs.
Oh, that's a shame.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure.
I mean, they're basically the same champion, aren't they? Like, Teemo puts down the mushrooms and Jhin puts down the flowers. It's the same thing.
I know you're rage baiting, and I'm not going to fall for it.
Okay. Well, inner turret now going to be taken here by KT. Not a lot of response by GENG outside of the outer turret in the top lane. So this is some Ziggs value.
This is what Ziggs is good at, you know? Get some gold. They are potentially going to lose their mid-tier 1, though, if GENG chooses to throw Herald down there.
I feel like the positives are going to conclude relatively soon for KT, but right now, looking all right. Stealing away a blue buff. There we go. Keen is just, you know, thwacking with his blacksmithing hammer onto this turret, but that will eventually go down. KT have closed this gap, though, pretty substantially.
Yeah, picking up that tier 2 tower, honestly, got a long way, so...
This wave is disintegrating to the turret.
The game's not it's not in a good spot, let's be honest, right? Ruler has a massive lead over Dokdam, but I think things could be worse with how some of these fights have been going.
Oh, could be worse. That's what we like to hear.
That's always my angle as well.
Yeah, I love a good could be worse.
I'm practicing because, you know, someone needs to pick up that role.
Oh, no.
Oh, Orcs is now going to be the could be worse guy. Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
I feel like we'll have to share the load. I don't think I can always do it.
I'm going to be there for you. We can also just phone into Chronicler, just say, hey, how's your new job? By the way, could this be worse? We might be able to do that mid-show.
You know I will always say yes.
Yeah, I assume, like, if your boss says no to that, you've chosen the wrong job. It's all right. GENG now parking themselves around the river. They did just take the Rift Herald, which they will now slam down in the mid lane. Shelly going to get a bit of a headache on the mid-outer turret. And GENG we'll be able to even up that turret scoreline as well as, sharp turn there from Canyon, keeping us on our toes.
Duro's on the flank.
This guy's cow is so scary. And Dokdam be moving up here. We can place in a lot of weird stuff on the Rift with the satchels going everywhere and these signal posts from the trains. As VDD looking for a bit of an angle here. Keen with some side steps. Nature's Grasp does come on down, but he gets out of the way, Searing Charge, working out to avoid the charm.
Oh, KT, that's a lot invested.
Yeah, I think committing the ult, not a big deal. Ahri ult cooldown's pretty low with Malignance, but the fact they commit the TP as well, that's when it starts to feel bad. And Dragons are pretty soon, so...
Death Trap?
Well,
That
Canyon
is
might be
Maokai.
surprised about this. Never mind. He sweeps and flashes out of the way of the Zenith Blade. They do get the flash, but that is all she wrote.
Kenya really took that last series personal.
He did.
Because that's last series, that would have just been a death.
And it's a good read, right? Super comes out, doesn't end up dying, expected them to be on the top side from that previous play, and it gives the space for Chovy just to push up, take this tower here. So now GENG able to equalize in terms of towers, and that gold lead starting to balloon a little bit, 2,500. I think with the fact the Ariel's just not quite up.
Does going in. There's some dominance here from Perfect, who will get knocked up by Duro, but he does get stunned. Now Cuz looking for the angle, but immediately has to flash away. In the meantime, Canyon's just doing the dragon, and that is just going down slowly but surely, and KT with no real avenue in towards this fight. There's the Drake. They get vision of that as Solar Flare going to be eaten by the Bellows Breath. And now you've got GENG just trying to turn this one onto Peter. They should be able to take him down. Force shot will do it. And Duro looking worse for wear, but can they actually get to him? He's well and truly in the field right now, as finally it's Doctom that's able to lock it up with the Mega Inferno Bomb. KT going 1-for-1 in the fight, but they lose out on the objective. And the Zig's going to get caught by that Deadly Flourish, but no follow-up here as Ruler decides to hold the R button.
I feel like the problem was KT spent so much time, so much effort investing into the top side of the map. It was such a rushed attempt at the Dragon. They didn't have the vision set up properly. The objective was already taken by the time they got down there. So they try and force in here for the ult. Only hits Keen, who uses the Bellows Breath. Then they try and make an engage happen. And unfortunately, BDD doesn't end up getting the reset. Duro using both the Exhaust and Flash to survive. And even though he does go down in the Mega Inferno Bomb, BDD doesn't actually end up getting a reset. And because mid-tier 1's still up and available, they can't really chase further anyway. So KT just can't find more.
It makes sense for KT to want to try and fight there, because if you looked, actually Canyon's ult was down, Duro's ult was down, and that's what ended up having him go down. And Chovy didn't have his ult either. Two of those were used in the escape earlier on. As a result, GENG will still get the Drake, but the gold lead not insurmountable. And this is, guys, hey, it could be worse. This is the type of comp that is always able.
He did the thing.
Yeah, I know.
It could be worse.
I mean, it was on purpose.
That was beautifully done.
Okay.
We really need to take some
I don't think I can do that well.
No,
I should practice
neither
the
could I.
baby.
Can I actually do the finish?
Can you do it again, just so I can take some...
I want to actually
take some
finish
notes.
the fall.
Can you do it again so I can take some notes? Quickly, Punisher.
Just, yeah, please.
We don't have time!
Take it away. Okay, it is going to be Nature's Grass coming on through. Peter getting caught up as Cuz looking for the angle, but Duro says, no, I'm better at that than you are. As Cuz gets slammed back and taken down. Peter now, Eclipse not going to help him, but in goes Chovy, looks for the angle, catches the flash, and gets on top of Doctom. Not going to get knocked up by the last Q though, but it's a double from Ruler, who immediately Captain Jacks and looks for the curtains on to KT. BDD blocking for Doctom, the flash out of the way as Keen looks to come in. Deadly Flourish, not going to be able to pick up that kill, but it's only BDD and Doctom. This inner turret's going to go down. And it's looking like KT may just be circling the drain here in Game 3.
It's starting to get harder to think that it could be worse, guys. That was the moment right there before that fight. I'm feeling a lot worse about it now, as this is going to be Otacon as well. The gold lead becoming insurmountable. And I think KT are on the verge of being swept by GENG in a truly riveting revenge for that last series.
Yeah, they are looking angry. Absolutely. This is a GENG on the warpath looking to try and claim that LCK title once again that was stolen away from them by HLE last year.
And I feel like in this situation, when KT are trying to kite backwards and the front line's just getting demolished, GENG are using their engage tools aggressively, this is what their comp wants to do. And the carries are so fed. There's no limit to the damage they have. Duro's standing under the tower, tanking it with ult. You know, Ruler's just free-firing. The damage isn't quite there because Doctom and BDD are behind, and both of them, you know, they really needed momentum in this game to be able to cut through all this bulk on the side of GENG. In the position they are now, I feel like Keen is just kind of chilling with how tanky he is. Even Duro, who's on a support economy, is really not struggling to survive in a lot of these fights. So it's just, it's hard to see the angles. Chronicler, I know you said it's harder to see it.
Okay, no. So all you need is a pick onto Ruler. So you will walk into the Ruler spot, be too far forward, you use your Vial, take him down, then you turn that into Nash, you get free bounties, and bam! back in the game.
So what do you say, Max? Absolutely delusional, or?
Yes.
Well-
I think a really good angle would be is if GENG lost 2 of their keyboards.
I feel like you guys aren't taking my angle seriously, and that
Well, I
that
mean,
hurts my
give us
feelings
a
little
serious
bit.
angle and we'll take it seriously.
I know he hasn't done the ruler spot thing for a while now,
I don't
but
think-
surely it's still somewhere.
True. I just don't know whether even killing Ruler is going to be enough. As the train comes down, Doctom, he's playing a bullet hell game, and he's playing it pretty well. Nice charm connects here from BDD as maybe your wish is coming true, Chronicler. As BDD over the wall once again, throwing out some of the poke here. Great knock up from Keen, but Peter is going to be able to shake that one off. GENG, I mean, the problem is Keen is looking to do that immortal thing again.
You can't fight for the choke. There's too much CC, there's too much AoE to deal with on GENG's side. KT
I don't know,
find
KT
an
are going to
angle.
need GENG to choke if they're going to win this game.
Oh my god, Atlas, no! It's gone.
Probably pretty
Just
true.
go-
Oh, the steal from Cuz! He is able to actually
gets out.
flash his way out as well. Peter may not be so lucky, but I think Peter for denial of Soul Point could be a good thing.
I don't care, I'm in denial too. You got this, KT, keep it going.
There we go. Love that optimism, but maybe just stick with optimism, nothing starting with E, and then we'll be all right. As Duro, sub 50%, the cow looking a little bit worried, does have the ulti though. Satchel gonna get interrupted so nicely here. Cease and desist comes down, Mega Inferno Bomb just barely catching onto Ruler there.
I got him!
Gets into the back line, and it's the cow down as well, BDD. He's got some charges left on the ultimate, is now Keen. Going down pretty slowly, I have to admit. Ruler puts together the Infinity Edge. Peter rocketing in to help out Perfect.
Cuz he's healing off the camps. He's trying to get back into the fight.
Yeah, Cuz is well and truly behind enemy lines as there's the knock up onto the Crocodile. He's sent skyward, and Canyon is able to brambly smash him to death.
Oh my.
Cuz is actually just countered
Hey,
jungling.
they got the shutdown. They did the thing.
They got the kill, okay.
They did. Okay, now we'll have to find out whether it's enough.
I'm not sure it's gonna necessarily be enough, but they did get a splash, so maybe they can turn it into something more. This is a great steal, and they did have objective bounties, so a good amount of gold across the board. Unfortunately, Peter, a little too close for comfort, but then here, this got a little bit goofy. I love how, if you look, Cuz is so low when he goes for this, and nearly just died, but Ruler fumbled with the bullets, you know, the typical Jin thing where you run out of ammo as he's coming in, and then I think Cuz's plan was like, guys, I will heal up the camps, and I will be back. Wait for me. On the first light, on the third night, I will return for
And then
the
Gandalf comes back and it's just corpses.
Everyone's dead. It was the alternative.
Rohan has fallen!
Yeah, I think so. Unfortunately, Helm's Deep not looking so good.
No, it did not look so hot. So Gandalf just said, oh, my bad, and just rode off.
Oh my god, and we got our wish.
We're maximizing time.
Oh, the pause is here. As we will get word to you as soon as we find out why this has occurred. But I am just so happy that we get some extra content. And KT just managed to give us like a shred of hope that maybe there's a chance that possibly they could theoretically like do something that's okay.
Did you just hear what it was?
No.
There was, I believe, a spider on one.
There's a spider on a monitor? Wait,
guys,
do they need me? This is my time to shine.
Oh, guys, this is leading into Lord of the Rings, right? We've all seen Return of the
no,
Shelob.
Shelob. We need Sting. Where's Sting? Wait, we had Sting in the space back at LOL Park.
Oh, did you not bring it?
No, I didn't. I forgot to
my
bring it.
God.
I didn't think I'd need it again.
Oh, Chronicler.
Well, someone definitely brought it because we were zooming, so
yeah,
someone had it on hand.
I really do hope that they managed to put the spider in a cup and took it outside.
Can we see some blue light? Is it okay?
Well, they can't have the blue light because Sting's back at home. Never mind. Okay, Peter is going to get knocked up here as Keen, setting it up for Ruler, who is doing approximately 16 trillion damage at this point in time with that 3-item completed. KT are not out of it yet. Their Nexus is still intact. And they have a ward outside this Baron. Some information is now going to be gained, but I don't know whether information is actually going to help. Good charm does connect onto Duro looking for that flank angle. As there's the engage onto Perfect. He's taken down so incredibly low, so quickly, and it's Ruler that cuts him up. The Baron was just a bait this entire time. The knockup doesn't connect onto Cuz though. Cease and desist into the backline, but Chovy's there with the ultimate to follow. And I think these wallets may just be a little hefty for KT to lob at GENG. As they just go back towards this Baron as if nothing had happened.
Yeah, I think the chance of stealing that Baron a lot lower now that Cuz is dead.
Also doing a 6 ult.
Yeah, it's not looking super hot here as GENG just moved Duro and Keen towards this mid lane, and it's Canyon and Ruler that are there to deal with this Baron. Secured very comfortably here as we move to 3,000 gold leads for both carries on GENG, and with a 2-threat comp, that's a good thing.
He's just constantly finding these knockups on Ornn and setting up the plays from the rest of the team.
Has there been an easier POM in playoffs than this game, than this series?
If you're really, I think you can go Duro. I think actually every single game, even if you think back to the last game, right, like the Aatrox,
I really need to start working on Justice for top lane.
But who got the charm?
Yeah, it was a pretty good charm.
Who got the charm that enabled Keen to live? That was Duro.
He did charm you, apparently.
Yeah, always has. I'm voting Keen, don't get me wrong, but I think you can get away with a Duro vote.
I think you can get away with a vote for anyone. They will accept.
No, they can't, Max, because do you still have a vote?
No.
So clearly you can't get away with anything.
Wait, no. I had 2 votes, okay?
And then they chuck it away.
This season.
Also, Atlas.
So they gave me a trial run and I didn't pass.
Atlas, also, let's be real. When I'm
vote
beside
for your trial? What was the problem?
I'm easily influenced. You got like half a vote when I'm right next to you. So that's something.
That's true.
Who did you vote for? After
Harrier,
votes, they took it away.
and if it was Bro playing, then it was Morgan. Regardless of the play.
Those are pretty safe bets normally. So.
So Justice for supports and Justice for top lane, 2 things.
You must have done something else egregious, because normally those are pretty safe bets.
Max?
The Morgan vote might have been a problem. He may not have even won the series. As okay, we do have Keen taking a minuscule amount of damage, but he's otherwise doing okay. As Jacksho's completed as well, so 3 items on the Ornn. And he's also handing out a whole bunch of upgraded ones, as there's the Nature's Grasp. KT gonna get coaxed away from this inhibitor turret. Now looking for a bit of a fight, but Chovy finds the angle! He gets in, and then gets immediately out again. Perfect though, he's able to stay alive. They take down the tree, but down goes the inhibitor turret as well. KT put the phalanx together to try and block. Never mind, it's not enough, he's just too big!
Guys, I was thinking about the decision to have the Ziggs tank the Jin shots, and it seems to have backfired.
I don't think it was a great decision.
Flash. They had heal!
He didn't want to flash in case he killed his teammate.
Could have lived! Dogdom, you're too good a teammate!
Oh dear. Well, the train is going to run over 2 of them. The Crocodile, the first one to go down. Cuz now in so much trouble as these 4 shots for Ruler, all of them are just nukes that he can throw at KT. This Jin is absurdly fed. Chovy also puts together his Infinity Edge and makes his way back as, man, this is triple shellacking for GENG as they look to close in. The charm comes through. Duro says, yes, you're very charming, BDD, but unfortunately you're not going to win this series. As in goes Cuz, looking for the angle under Ruler. He just cleanses. He's wandering around. He was reloading for a little while longer, and he does get taken out. Now Keen could actually be close to death, but Chovy is having a field day. They took down 1 threat, but remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is a 2-threat comp, and Chovy's the best player in the world. They will take down KT here, as Perfect did have enough time to respawn. I just don't know whether this Crocodile is going to quite be enough, as in comes Canyon. That's the ace, and that is the Nexus going down for the 3rd time in this series, and GENG will not be denied an 8th final in a row.
And it just makes it clear that GENG have really locked in to make sure an upset would not happen again. And truly, how magical the first time round it was that KT could take down GENG, but this time, no shenanigans. GENG clinical in their punishment, clinical in their takedown of KT.
And I have a feeling that, you know, there's a few people that were saying words like fluke and things like that was just a huge upset. I think GENG is still good. I think those people are eating pretty good after this series, as GENG looking well and truly woken up and ready for the final tomorrow.
Well, I think something I would say is prior to that first matchup between them, Keen was rank 1 in Arena. and he is actually dropped from rank 1. He is now rank 2. So it kind of just shows that maybe a bit of locking in, a bit of focus on solo queue
and a
instead
lot of
arena. A bit less arena, you know, than they had before. And this guy definitely showed up today.
I can't believe you're saying this, Ox. I feel a little bit...
I do feel like his Aatrox kind of looked like an Aatrox in arena, though.
A little bit.
Well, I want to highlight, looking at it from a more positive spin, as I often do, is that I think that KT's shown that if the members on GENG don't perform, 1 or 2 having an off day, KT, when they are firing on all cylinders, they can win. And I think that that's one of the coolest things about the LCK. On any given day, those upsets can happen. But if all 5 members of GENG are there, it's not close. Not even remotely.
Nope. And Peanut Fan there is probably feeling a little nervous about what could potentially happen tomorrow. HLE have not lost a game yet here in playoffs, so they are formidable waiting in that final to defend their title, but I just feel like if GENG are looking good, we saw what happened in the Legend group. It was GENG and it was T1, and T1 aren't even in this tournament anymore. And if GENG are looking that good, then it's going to be a really difficult road for an HLE that have looked great in these playoffs. Despite that, I'm still feeling a little bit worried for them.
Man, I can't wait to see what tomorrow's going to bring. It's going to be so hard to predict.
Didn't you say that this morning? You were like, if it's a 3-0 though,
it is.
It's going to be hard to predict because HLE were looking so good.
And it really will, because the biggest difference outside of just the form of Canyon and Chovy, which I think is just a no-brainer watching this series compared to the last one, is that GENG also diversified their draft and it's looked good, both in the T1 series and in this one. What is the takeaway from Hanwha going to be? What is the early pathing? Because I do think that Canyon's early pathing will remain something that will be of great interest, even though his skirmishes did get a lot better. But GENG, when every player is playing well, is just unfair. And yes, Keen, you still got your votes.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've put the vote in, right?
I have.
Because, like, Duro played really, really well this series.
I also think there's something to be said that this was a 3-0, and it didn't go deep in Fearless, and GENG didn't really have to flex too many muscles in terms of the draft. A lot of these comps felt pretty just, you know, standard front to draft. The third one I feel like was a little bit more out there, but the first two were just like sort of the standard GENG front to draft we've seen so many times before. And I feel like as a result, they didn't have to reveal too much on the day.
I don't think they were tested at all. I mean, the first 2 drafts were so basic, right? We've seen them so many times, and this isn't anything special, and it feels like this draft was a lot more off the cuff. You know, like what was presented to them, they just decided to lock away. Maybe the priority on the Alistair was a little bit different, but I don't know. I do think that GENG have it all just covered up.
Remember in the Legend group when they brought out the Ziggs mid against T1, they said they didn't want to reveal it, but they did at the time. I don't think there's anything they revealed here.
I want to also highlight that this is the type of comp that I think only GENG can play. I've seen so many teams try comps like this, even KT in this series, and then the carries fall behind, and you have Jin, and he just doesn't do anything. You have a Yone that is trying to do damage. I really want to highlight again the fact that this team can make this comp look this good. Like Yone Maokai is an all-time classic, right? Like that's one that I think we aren't too surprised by, but I just can't wait to see what Hanwha's going to bring out tomorrow. Their prep was absolutely impeccable. I think still the best prep when it comes to level 1s, when it comes to early jungle pathing, when it comes to drafts. That finals, especially given that it's a rematch from last year's summer finals, and that was a 5-game banger.
And it was a rematch from the LCK Cup finals.
Woo!
I mean, these two have been fighting for first and second for the whole year. GENG has been winning. T1 were up there during the Legend group, but HLE still retained their position. HLE versus GENG's turning into a bit of an El Clasico. We're starting to have a few of them here in the LCK, and you love to see it. GENG looking so dominant today. We're going to be asked to predict, aren't we? I don't even know what to do.
I'm going to be a coward and just 3-2 someone. I don't really know who yet.
I like when 3-2 is cowardice. It used to be 3-1 was cowardice.
3-1 Andes,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay, but let's be real. 3-2 tomorrow is like, it's a cop-out.
Yeah.
It's probably true.
I've been doing it all playoffs. Apart from today, where I decided to try to get KT as much hope as possible by going 3-0.
We all know
GENG.
whose fault this is.
It's Pony.
It's Pony.
And we're going to have a stern talking to with him.
Especially after he originally went for GENG and then switched. That feels insulting.
Yeah, that's really rough. So we're going to deal with that. But we now have the entire team ready for an interview. So let's throw it over to Dia.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Dear for the full team interview translation with GENG, who just advanced to the finals 7 years in a row. Please welcome the full team: Keen, Canyon, Chovy, Ruler, Duro, and head coach Kim. Congratulations! First, Keen. Against KT Roaster, you just got a 3-0 victory and secured the finals. And you even got a POM. So did you expect such a dominant victory? No, because we had a defeat in the last match, we thought that it would be a little more, I guess, competitive. It would be closer. But honestly, given that it was such a clean victory, it feels great. Yeah, you really did make up for that upper bracket loss. So what paid off from your preparation? I think for the last match, I think we had some problems regarding the draft, so we tried to pay more attention regarding that. And honestly, we had a lot of feedback regarding our trade and just fighting, team fighting in general. And you meet How to Life Esports in the finals. So against Zeus in the top matchup, what are your thoughts? In the LCK finals, you know, it's been a while since I saw him in the top lane during the final. You know, I just feel like Zeus has been a very proactive player, and he is a big influence, and he contributes a lot to his team's success. So I will keep that in mind. And Canyon, it was a rocky journey, but you made it to the finals. How do you feel? Now we had a good victory and made it all the way to the finals, which feels amazing. And everyone pointed out jungle to be the key today. So what did you focus on against Cuz today? I didn't think I actually paid particular attention towards Cuz, but it was more so regarding my own gameplay and just trying to make sure that our comp works against the team, the enemy team. And tomorrow you will fight How to Life Esports for the LCK trophy right here during the finals. So, what message do you have for your fans? As for my fans, thank you so much for coming, for all the support. I want to make sure that we win in the finals so that we can all celebrate together. Thank you. And Chovy. Chovy, this is your 11th finals. And with that 3-0 over KT, how does it feel to advance to the finals? It was a 3-0 victory, making to the finals. And this will be my 11th finals, like you said. So it feels like, yeah, I've been to the finals so many times. Chovy, your movements to skill shots, to juking the enemy, you were just on point. And your Game 3 Yone pick was something that we haven't seen for a while. And your gameplay-wise, you looked great. So what do you think? As for my gameplay, yeah, I think I'm pretty happy. I'm satisfied with my gameplay and my performance overall today. And now, you contributed to GENG qualifying to the finals 7 times in a row. So what is your mindset for the finals? I'm going to make sure that we win in the finals no matter what. And I'm going to continue making it to the finals so that we build up even higher and bigger records for GENG. And Ruler, it's the same year that you came back to the LCK, you made it back to the finals. How do you feel? It's been a long time since the last time I went to the finals in the LCK, and you know, it feels amazing. It feels really fun. I feel like I'm just having so much fun playing in the LCK. And I felt like the enemy was trying to focus you down today, but you handled it flawlessly every time. So did you expect the enemy to focus you down too much? I guess just situationally, I just try to get a good read and grasp of the game. So, I did have an idea of how the enemy was going to play around, so that's why I was able to sort of counter that every time. And since the 2022 summer title, you're looking for another title with GENG. So, what's your mindset to take it home? As we were able to win with a great performance, I want to make sure that we continue and bring that same performance and form tomorrow so that we are able to win tomorrow. And Duro, this is your first LCK finals. How do you feel? So far, I just had not imagined that I would be here all the way up to this point. And I think due to all the teaching and all the coaching that I got, I think that's why I was able to make it so far here. And how are you feeling today? I felt great. I think I was able to recover, and I'm feeling great overall. And since joining GENG this year, you just keep returning to big stages. So, how big of a stage does the LCK finals feel to you? It's our regional finals, so I don't think it's going to be as different as any other regional finals and from other regions. So I think I just feel a lot of pressure. I'm going to have to be responsible for lifting a heavy trophy this time. And what are your goals for the LCK finals? It was a clean performance today, and I want to make sure that we bring that back tomorrow so that we're able to win it all. Next up, we have head coach Kim. It wasn't a smooth ride, but you made it to the finals. How do you feel? This is our 7th finals in a row, and I'm just really happy to be a part of that record. And yeah, it wasn't very easy, but I'm just really glad that we're here. So what was the key to preparing for today? Thinking about always thinking about how to counter the enemy, but I think this time around we really tried to take all the high priority picks. And any word for your hardworking players? I think it was thanks to my players playing so well that we got a 3-0, and they've been working so hard. So yeah, I'm so grateful for you guys. Good job. And for all the fans who made it all the way to the Inspire Arena, what message do you have? I want to make sure that we're able to celebrate with all of our fans in the moment we lift the trophy. We hope to see you play your hearts out in the finals. Please give it up for GENG. That's the end of the interview with GENG, and back to our amazing analysts. Thank you.